Welcome, everyone. My name is Jordan Malik from Honest Online Selling. Today, I'm very excited. I'm talking with Aymeric Manello.
Hey, Jordan.
Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, you're good.
Today, I'm talking with Aymeric Manello. Aymeric's really living the American dream. Aymeric's from France. Originally from France, now U.S. citizen. Aymeric, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How's the weather there?
It's awesome, like your weather, probably.
Where do you live?
About opposite side of town of you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we live in the same town. Aymeric and I had lunch together right around Christmas time. It was great meeting him in person. So Aymeric, just a few years ago, he had a stable job here in Las Vegas. And then he discovered the free wholesale workshop that I've been talking about. And I'm going to put the link. I want to drop the link in here to show you that. And 9 months after taking that workshop, Aymeric had done over $700,000 in sales with just one wholesale account that's sourcing wholesale products, selling it on Amazon. Now, that's not his only success. I have a photo here of Dan and Dylan, they're the guys that run the workshop, handing him a check for about $400,000. That's rather recent. And Aymeric is going to tell us about that. Aymeric, welcome, and tell me how you got started with wholesale and Amazon.
Yeah, so it was early of 2016, and I did some like retail arbitrage, online arbitrage before that. Discovering the universe of Amazon selling.
For folks who don't know, that is, Aymeric started, like many of us, finding products in stores to resell on Amazon, or finding products online stores to receive and then resell on Amazon. So sorry, right. Go ahead, Aymeric.
No, that's cool. So I did this for a few months, but then I wanted to find a better way to do this, and I came across the Wholesale Formula, and I really like the model, really like the guys too, because there's a lot of different courses and things like that in this space, and I felt like I could trust them, and it was really important for me. So I took the course in February of 2016. So the workshop, went through the workshop, learned how to do it, found this that was amazing, and then so then took the training, and after that I was able to like put in place things pretty quickly. So at the time I was working as a web designer for the University of Las Vegas for the law school, and I had a pretty good position. I mean, was making 60 grand plus benefits. Like you're pretty comfortable and you can pay your bills and all that. But I felt like I could do more and I achieve more with that kind of model. And actually was able to quit this job in August of the same year. So I'm not saying it's everybody can achieve the same thing, but it's to give, perspective probably. And I probably did it a little too soon. I could have stayed a little longer, and be more safe, but I like to take more risk and dive in right away. So I did it that way. I just waited to have 50,000 in sales per month to be able to just
to quit your real full-time job.
It was like, you put a goal for yourself and you're like, okay, when do I switch this? Because I see I can make money, but I don't have time because I'm working a job all day. So when do I actually jump the gun and leave my job and do this full time, right? So for me, it was a number. It was 50,000 in sales was about what I needed to just jump in and be able to pay my bills and all that. So that's what I did, and it was August 1st, or July 31st of 2016. I did that.
Just 5-6 months after starting.
Right. It was pretty quick. Yeah.
Interesting. And so presumably you're probably calculating in your head, okay, if I sell $50,000 a month of a wholesale product, the net profits on Amazon will be 20 to 30%, I'm assuming, and that's enough for me to say, okay, I'm in a good spot right now.
Right. I took like kind of worst case scenario, so 10%, 10%, so 5,000, and I was like, okay, 5,000, I'm fine. I can just pay, mortgage bills, all that stuff.
For somebody who's hearing this and they think, oh, gee, this sounds very complicated, like very, very, like it sounds impossible, or I can't do that. What would you say to them?
Well, I didn't know anything about businesses before I started this. I mean, I've never started a business or, did that kind of work before. I was a web designer, just
Mhm.
doing, working for different companies and making websites for them. So, um, so what's cool is like when you go through the wholesale formula and the workshop, and then they explain to you step by step, and I just did that, just followed each step and trying to understand each step, and then just actually do them, and learned a lot by doing, and then asking questions and all that, and then it just goes like you just learn by doing, and following a proven method. So that's why I wanted to search. It was a proven method, and I just followed that and trust the system, right?
Right, right. And your first year, the sales that you did your first year was just from, did I read this correctly, just from one wholesale account? Is that right?
No, not the first year. No,
Okay.
the first year was about shy of 700,000 on the first 9 months. I'm gonna say, because
Right,
February to December. But no, it was multiple accounts. Like it was like distributors, account manufacturer,
right.
with a model that allows you to do it with very limited risk,
Hmm.
because it's a proven method, and then we know what sells.
Right.
So
You're
it's
not
the reverse sourcing wholesale is their the system.
reverse sourcing, and they go over that in the free workshop. I'll put the link here.
Right.
But you're
Yeah.
sourcing products that are already selling well on Amazon
Right.
versus going to a catalog and trying to figure out what sells and then contacting the supplier and how well it sells on Amazon. You're starting with the successful products first and then reaching out to the brand owners and manufacturers, right?
That's correct. You're removing the guess game, pretty much the guessing game, right? So instead of guessing in a catalog, like you said, which is the old wholesale model, right? Like
Mhm.
people would getting like very thick catalogs like this and sifting through it and be like, oh yeah, that one looks good. How about I buy that one? But
Yeah.
it's your opinion. It's not the opinion of the population or the
Market.
customers. So
Yeah.
now we're able to go on Amazon, and actually Amazon gives us data,
Mhm.
and then saying, hey, this sells well.
Right.
So then now we know what sells. We're not guessing what's gonna sell or not.
Right. Right.
And now we just need to like find the product. So it's great. I
So
really
so
like the model.
tell me then what happened afterwards, because you had a very interesting story. um, as your business progressed. You basically sold off your wholesale account. Am I
Right. Yes.
okay?
Yes, that's pretty much what it is there. I
And
sold like a relationship to
okay, so
that I
you'd
created.
already established a relationship with a supplier. You were already selling their product on Amazon, doing very well,
Right.
and then somebody said, "Hey, I'd like to buy that relationship away," because I've never heard of this, honestly. It sounds very interesting. They would like to buy that contract that you have with the manufacturer away from you for a huge sum of money.
Right.
Correct.
So yeah, so what happened is that found the supplier by doing the reverse sourcing wholesale, right, method, and just going through and then finding that supplier. But then I thought I could do something better and different. So I created something called co-branding. And so it was their product with the same label and everything, but we added our own branding on it. So our own logo, our own name. And so the product was different per se because it was different IP on it, like intellectual property.
Mhm.
So then by doing this, I was able to help this brand took the sales of their product from like 100,000 a year maybe on Amazon to a little over 1.1 million
Wow.
in like a year time.
Right. Right.
So
Okay.
so
Wow.
by doing this, then we were kind of co-branded exclusive, right?
Mhm.
So nobody else could really sell the same product than us because our IP was on it. And so I was able to sell this to someone else who was in the food industry, was interested in that. Uh, and they were able to just take that account and continue to run it. Well, actually, I'm still running that account for them as a consultant, but
Okay.
so it's like you can do back end money.
So yeah, so you already sold it. Well, I'm sure the check, the photograph here, the check, are over $400,000.
Yes.
You sold for them, but they obviously came back to you and said, "Hey, can you help us with this?" And you're making money on that end as well.
Right.
That's very impressive.
Yeah. So that's what is excellent with this model because you can make money multiple ways, and so
Right. So
it's
anybody
pretty
who
awesome.
hears that and said, "I'm not interested in co-branding anything," that's really not that you just took an opportunity that branched off from that
Right.
and ran with it. So anybody else could just be reselling wholesale products. Somebody who's starting out with this, what advice would you give to them?
Follow the steps and take action. I think it's the most important thing
Mhm.
that I did and that allowed me to be successful with this is actually trust the system and trust the way to do it and actually doing it. Because there's so many questions. Like, I've never created a business before. I've never, and then there's a lot of stuff that comes at you and you're like, how am I managing all this and all this stuff? Just follow steps and then everything is going to fall in place.
Cool.
So yeah.
Tell me what you're doing these days.
Well, we're managing this account that we sold, so that takes some time, and then I also invested in some real estate companies and things like that.
Good.
So, yeah.
Good. And congratulations. You're a real success story.
Thank you,
And
thank you.
you're also recently a U.S. citizen too.
Yes, in October, yeah.
Oh, just very recently.
Yep.
Congratulations. Okay,
Thank you,
if
thank you.
If Aymeric can do this, you guys can too. That's for sure. So, Aymeric, thank you so much. Do you want to add anything?
When I moved here 9 years ago, but I couldn't speak English, and
Oh,
so it was like kind of a challenge when I was calling brands and trying to understand because I never did this before.
right.
I didn't know if it was me not understanding or just them telling me stuff that didn't make sense.
Right.
So it's always like, is it me? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so with that barrier a little less, like if you understand English, it's totally a little like
Yeah,
way
so,
easier.
so people who are intimidated by this, they got to listen to your story because you had a double whammy. You were entering a business that you knew nothing about,
Right.
sourcing wholesale products, and you had a English as a second language issue where you were just had rudimentary English skills, but you still were able to pull this off.
Right. Because I followed the steps.
Right.
That's the thing. It's like because it's all laid out and then you can do it step by step and really follow the process. That allowed me, even though I had like some difficulties, understanding and speaking English,
Mhm.
that allowed me to be able to create this business and be successful with this business and be able to sell it 3 years later, because I sold it in April of 2019, so last year, right?
Very interesting. Cool, man. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you for having me. Yeah,
Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon. And thank you for sharing your story with my audience. They'll really appreciate it.
sounds good. I hope it was useful.
Yes. Thanks, Emric. Peace. Have a
See
good
ya.
day, man. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.